But winners bracket final.
Or the winners bracket.
So the winners bracket, everybody. Yep. So these are the guys that have not lost at this stage, and this is actually one of my predictions. I was expecting either Gypsy Jaeyun or Gypsy Striker. All right, bottom left-hand corner we've got Gypsy starting as the Black Terran. Bottom right-hand corner we've got Jaeyun starting as the Brown Protoss, and I feel like versus Terran is Jaeyun's weakest matchup actually.
It's hard to say. I don't know. Jaeyun's really good at all three matchups, to be honest.
His versus Zerg, I think, is the best in the scene right this second. It's like incredibly good. And the ZVZ.
Yeah. I mean, having spent so much time as a Zerg player, he really knows how to exploit all of the weaknesses, and that helps a lot, of course.
And,
but yeah, his multitask is so insanely good. It just makes him good at every matchup.
Extremely good multitask. Both of these guys, their multitasking is insane.
Yeah,
both
Gypsy's also mechanically great.
Gypsy, both very, and Gypsy just studies and studies and studies.
Yeah.
On top of it, and both, I feel like, I gotta say, I have bias towards Jaeyun because he's a good friend of mine, but I think this is just going to be an epic game all the way around.
I'm honestly 50-50 split on predictions here.
You're 50-50 split?
I mean, like these two were like my favorites to win the tournament from the start. And so I can't really decide.
You're not allowed to take biases. I'm just going to announce my bias ahead of time. Was the Jaeyun went to my alma mater as well at UCSD, and I think one of his most famous wins was in CSL actually, versus Nooney in late stages. As part of that, he had kind of this incredible come from behind victory. But in the meantime, Assimilator being dropped. He's got that gateway up. Nothing too
no
crazy.
12 next. No. What's Gypsy up to? Is he doing gasless expand? It looks like it. Yeah.
Gasless expand, pretty standard. Unsurprising. Between these two guys, I don't know if they practiced together for this tournament, but they have played each other potentially ad nauseum. They oftentimes will be hanging out in chat, and they'll be playing games a lot. So they're definitely familiar.
They're definitely familiar with each other's play styles for sure.
In the meantime, looks like we've got probes on. Looks like Zealot has been skipped right off the bat. Gypsy going to getting first scout with that SCV to the 12 o'clock base is going to end up scouting Jaeyun last. Unfortunately, depending on that Dragoon timing, you might be able to lock him out of some intel here.
Yeah, we got the command center coming down. No threat of Zealot, so Gypsy's pretty safe here. He's just going to get a bunker up before the goon comes, and he should be good to go.
Kind of curious. Got the supply depot in the way, creating that nice little bit of clutter. I will say, on this map, I'm curious if Gypsy is going to open up a little bit more vulture heavy, or if he's just going to play more the 3-2 style. He does have that nearby third to work with.
So that nearby third on this map, in this version of the map, is it's very light. It's only 1,000 minerals in each patch, 6 patches, and the gas is only 1,500, which is, it runs out real quick. So that becomes a factor.
Should let me click on it in the darkness. Probe coming out, being very threatening against a little bit of a dance back and forth. Jaeyun has still not sent out a scout, so he's going to have to start the scouting with this initial Dragoon. That SCV being pulled back, but with that initial probe making its way out, I have to assume that Gypsy is reading this as Nexus first. In the meantime, Jaeyun splitting off that Dragoon to go to the north, because that was the direction the SCV came from, and it's going to be very, very late on his scout. So Gypsy getting the eye full, seeing that natural expansion come up. In the meantime, Jaeyun very much in the dark.
Yeah, he doesn't know it's gasless yet. We'll have to see if he goes for a second gateway or a robo first.
Decent little, looks like there is that little gap.
Yeah, there's that gap you can't plug, but
that you can't plug.
No zealots, so
which was making the point with sometimes mid-game vultures can be kind of annoying with that. It looks like we're seeing a Citadel of the Dune.
Oh,
as a follow-up.
Interesting.
So Jaeyun opting to get a little bit tricky here, doing Protoss things. In the meantime, Dragoon moving up. Interesting. So barracks lifted off. The Dragoon walking up, confirming the command center.
Jaeyun does have range on the way, so when range is done, he'll start hitting that bunker, and that's the range is on time. So there's no indication to Gypsy that Citadel's on the way.
He's gonna have.
He hasn't scouted anything that indicates that.
So 2 Dragoons up. Yeah, he's gonna have the Dragoons in position with range, and this is all from his position perspective, all very, very standard. Maybe a little bit off standard that the Dragoons attacking the barracks. And
slightly too far away, yeah.
Yeah, just and now repositioning and regrouping. So it might have created a little bit of confusion on that building side. But in the meantime, some probes have been moved to the natural. Okay, they're fixed by Jaeyun. Moved to the natural expansion, but weren't quite mining it. But Templar Archives.
Is there a robo coming up too? Okay, so probably DT drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can always try to just run down the front with DTs and kill a turret if they have one, but it looks like Jaeyun's not going for that.
Meantime, Gypsy has opened up 2 factories, double machine shop, which maybe he'll have mines, but he is respecting potential DT. He's got the engineering bay. This doesn't mean he's going to be able to fight this off, though, because this is a huge droppable space in the main. There's just a lot of area, and DTs can get on those turrets pretty rapidly. Also, what's up, Ask Josh? You haven't seen him in a while out in Chatland.
Yeah. The other thing is the base positions lend themselves to drops for Jaeyun. It's just easy to get to Gypsy's main unscouted. You don't have to fly over anything to get in there. So he has this huge surface area available. You know, many different angles he can approach from, uncontested.
In the meantime, shuttle is out. We'll try to see the shimmer of darkness as it's moving out itself. So we got 1 DT scooped up, waiting on that second one. Pretty nice timing. But Gypsy
poking out.
So moving out.
I don't expect him to go all the way across the map with this.
So these DTs, I don't think they're going to be necessary for defense, because there should be, between these gateways, additional troops that can come out, but 1 DT going to remain on the ground. This, however, so JY moving out just in case, killing some Marines, and that is going to be a big reveal. So the Marine's gone.
Yeah, now he knows, but it's, I mean, he's already got some turrets up, but it's not a complete turret ring. He can still get the drop off and kill the turrets.
The secondary problem is he moved those troops out of position, and so it's going to be fewer troops to help at the main, but it looks like first Dark Templar got hunted down summarily by those 4 vultures, and it looks like the secondary drop going to move in. Nice defense by Gypsy overall. Really crushed that rapidly.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has much opportunity here with these DTs.
Mostly going to create some frustration, force vultures to swarm around a little bit, and at the very least get a little bit of scouting. A single mine being dropped underneath. The Dark Templar dropping the micro, killed the mine before it planted.
That shuttle's dangerously low on health.
So shuttle probably going to get taken out. DT dies with the vulture. A little bit of damage on the factory. I don't know that really paid off overall for
Definitely
Jaeyun.
not. Yeah.
So that's going to be a delayed third. He's going up to 6 gateways now, but overall, I feel like Gypsy's in a pretty strong position.
Yeah, I'd agree. Jaeyun is going to take his 3rd base at the 3 o'clock on the high ground. I like that choice. I prefer taking that base over this low ground 3rd. Partly because it's easier to defend, and partly because the low ground 3rd just only has 6 patches and less overall resources. So I like that option from Jaeyun, and I think the 6 gateways will let him, you know, easily defend and then apply some pressure and hopefully delay Gypsy's expansion, which could keep him on parity in this game if he's able to delay Gypsy's 3rd for long enough.
Ooh, Vulture's able to sneak into that natural expansion, get a few kills, a little bit of disruption. Otherwise, the Dragoon's having trouble dealing with it. I think they might have gotten 2 or 3 probe kills overall, but Jaeyun restabilizing, fanning back out, hasn't dropped that 3rd just yet. But Gypsy already making movements. He's got +1 weapons on the way, and already opening up his front. I think just Comsat had found that 3rd. He's got 3 factories up and a 4th on the way. Looks like he's maybe going for
still hasn't lifted this.
But still hasn't lifted this. We do have a single observer. I don't know that Jaeyun, he doesn't have a massive siege tank count right now to move up and establish this.
Yeah,
so Jaeyun does have an opportunity.
Gypsy, I believe, I just heard the scan. I think he scanned the main and probably saw those 6 gateways, and that's why he's taking this slow.
So slowly, some siege tanks getting caught on the rear, slowly moving forward, looking to see. But Jaeyun actually seeding this. He's not. He hasn't really pushed up with any dragoons. He's going to go ahead and let Gypsy grab that 3rd. The observer is going ahead and spotting it. The dragoons not opting to push in to even contest that.
Do we have Arbiter Tech on the way for Jaeyun? What do we got at the top? Yeah, Arbiter Tribunal just going down now.
And a 4th base in the interior 3 o'clock to try to stay that slight economic edge ahead. Gypsy slipping in, getting some turrets down. going to get the mines planted on that southern edge. And so from here on out, it's honestly, I think it's one of those macro battles where will Jaeyun have everything he needs?
Yeah, I don't think there is any risk of this game ending anytime soon. Neither player's really in a position where they want to be pushing. We're just going to see Jaeyun saturate his 4 bases and get Arbiters out, and Gypsy, maybe he'll go for try and get some Vulture harassment done, lay some mines out on the map, and expand his vision. But his factory count is too low to do a big push.
I will say Jaeyun, in a lot of his matches, has faltered towards these later stages where, especially against 3-2, with some of the Arbiter push, where either the stasises don't work out for him, or the engagement just goes awry, or something along those lines. He's had a lot of trouble against Terran at these stages. Usually, I've seen him get a lot of just dominant macro leads oftentimes at this stage of things. But
I think part of just the way that Jaeyun plays is he plays a very high APM multitask style. Like, kind of reminds me of Bisu. Like, he'll just be switching screens all the time. He's all over the map, as opposed to a player more like Snow that focuses a lot on the individual tasks at a time.
That being said, Gypsy has some incredible micro, and in his positioning and his engagement movements are just absolutely impeccable. So it's going to be, could be tough. We've got some more Vultures sneaking through. No defense on the front door right this second. There is a cannon right there, but there's still going to be a few additional probes, which is going to slow down.
Yeah, this is always annoying.
Yeah, slows down that base all the more. And this is critical timing. Losing any disruption here again. This is who can. It's turned into a little bit of a marathon, but it's a marathon still to kind of a finish line where you're going to have that inevitable engagement.
Yeah, we have Gypsy branching out to take the mineral only above his natural. Killing some more probes.
Get some more probes to the interior 3 o'clock. That's provoking, it looks like, more pylons and more some more cannons.
Yeah, yet another disadvantage of that low ground base there is that you can't fully wall it off. So there's pretty much no way to avoid losing at least some probes to a Vulture run by.
That's one thing about Neo Sylphidia. When I think of it, I just think of those Vultures sneaking in, especially across the natural expansion, across that little edge right there versus Protoss, which is extremely frustrating.
Yeah, they can always find a way in.
There's always like a way to do some additional damage across that 3 o'clock, which can make, especially, and since it plays from there into 3-2, I feel like it's a very difficult map for Protoss. How do you feel?
Oh, yeah, I think this map is a little bit Terran favored. The fact that you have, since it's a 3-player map, if Protoss is able to secure the other main, you get a favorable resource split for like the endgame split map scenario. But it's pretty difficult to do that as Protoss. Like, Terran has like a pretty easy time holding at least these 4 bases, and usually they can get a 5th base reasonably easily. And once the Terran has like 5 bases, they can do pretty much whatever they want. So they can get a really powerful army and they can push down.
I think at stages particularly like this, Jaeyun looking to see if he can get any sort of value trades out on the map. It's up to Protoss to find something that they can peel away from Terran, and it's very difficult because there's just so much to seal up and just nice cliffside edges here to work with. Jaeyun, however, going to expand to the 12 o'clock location. Probably going to set this up as a secondary. Yeah, hold that, drop the gateways, and then set up for potentially guerrilla style down the line.
I like Jaeyun's map presence. He's running around all over the place, making sure that there's no Vultures on his side of the map and denying Gypsy from having mine coverage where Jaeyun doesn't want it.
Yeah, if you look at it, he's basically got a split map vision. He's done a fantastic job of doing so. Getting close to the 200 point.
His 2-1's probably done for Gypsy by now.
What? Unit to make sure.
2-0, so I'm sure the +1 armor is close behind. And Jaeyun actually had no upgrades last week checked on him. Yeah, which is kind of surprising to me. But upgrades they're less important for Protoss than they are for Terran in this matchup for sure.
He does have the Forge spinning in the background, so we got something upgrading, and he's got the second Stargate dropping. I think he's still going to stick to Arbiter overall. It would be a little bit insane to do a carrier switch at this stage, but just trying to mitigate the Vulture movement, try to get what few minerals he can. Gypsy still does have that supply lead, but it's up to him to get some damage done again and try to be in the best position once Gypsy starts making moves.
Yeah, I think a carrier switch would be a possibility, but I don't think this map is particularly good for it.
Suicide right this second, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing it in this game.
Just see there's 2 Stargates. What do you hope for it? Anyway, siege tanks moving out. Critically, that +1 armor is still missing, but Gypsy moving across mid-map. Big EMP to the south. Looks like the Arbiter got hit by that, so it doesn't have a lot of stasis to follow up, but a few siege tanks bled off. Jaeyun blunting that pretty well, is still keeping pretty high on his overall supply count, but this is a big mech army starting to swing around. That's a lot of tanks. At least a control group and a half, it looks like. Let's see if I can get the official look at it. Yeah, control group and a half. Swinging across, a few vultures getting peeled off. And Jaeyun swinging to the north, wants to get another angle on this.
Jaeyun has an unfortunately low Arbiter count, too. He only had the 1 Stargate for a long time, so there's really no stasis for this fight.
Looks like some siege tanks were stranded to the north, so Jaeyun trying to get a positive value there. Now committing
tons of
all
zealots
of his
streaming
zealots
in.
Forward.
And Jaeyun's disengaging. I don't think that trade went very well for him.
Yeah, he ended up dropping a good amount of supply. I think once he saw the wall of vultures, he decided to not continue with the commit and wasn't able to really reset any siege tanks. And Gypsy continuing to barrel forward, it looks like, towards that natural expansion. And Jaeyun completely out of position to defend this.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try and go for the counterattack instead of defending. I don't... He doesn't have a lot of gateways up at the 12 o'clock yet, so this could be a sticky situation for Jaeyun.
So Gypsy very quickly moving in. As soon as he sieges up there, it's going to be a big challenge, and I think Gypsy is happy to trade the mineral only for this natural expansion trade.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, getting in contain on all of the gateways in the main will really allow Gypsy to just retake control of the map.
A few SCVs scrambling, so definitely going to end up losing that base, but a base trade and a huge positional advantage.
If you look at the supply, I mean, that tells the story too. It's 190 to 120. Gypsy's just managed to get himself in a really good spot here.
We do have a good amount of gateways here to the north, but I don't know that Jaeyun has a sizable enough bank that he stored up to deal with this. So Gypsy probably can carve out this pretty quickly and then just turn right back around, get out on the map, and continue to create some chaos. In fact, looks like he moved up a siege tank.
He even saved the CC.
Was able to save everything top left. Impressive play.
Yeah, well played by Gypsy.
And now, oof, that's a big siege tank line. Yeah, just going to carve all of this out. Looks like some more, even a battle probe moving out. I think that's actually going to take the interior 12 o'clock. But troops regathering up to the north. It looks like they're going to take another shot top left. Some vultures and siege tanks in the way. Level 3 opens level 1 armor, so it looks like one armor upgrade was missed. Instead, going to try to peek up top left. This, yeah, might be the easier base to counterattack. But again, Gypsy, I think, can afford to lose this without too much trouble. Yeah, JY going to GG right there. As his main getting completely crushed, and even if he took out that base, he wasn't going to have enough, just wasn't going to have the resources and the supply